Hey guys, I want to show you the progress that I made in creating my own um, dialogue system. So as you might have probably known, probably seen, well, generally video games, there's this thing called dialogue. It's when as you can see, there's dialogue, uh, there's camera movement depending on the dialogue, and also the text how it's being slowly being printed out one by one like a typewriter. um, I created from scratch, so without using any plugin or add-on, you can achieve this kind of similar result. Now as you can see, it also works when you're uh, using it for interaction with other objects. So yeah, it's pretty versatile, and I think you guys might be able to get a similar result for your own project. So let's get right to it. Okay, the first thing that you probably need, or I will show you how it will look. I'm gonna go to cutscene triggers, and I'm gonna go to my code, and there you go. As you can see, to create a dialogue, depending on where the character is placed on, you need something called, well, a trigger. A trigger is basically just an empty game object that contains a collider, can be box or whatever it is, and then then it needs to contain the code of your your dialog. So as you can see, this is my code, cutscene trigger. I created this, and as you can see, this is the entire code. You guys can follow along, or you can just copy it, or probably just put it in GitHub file, and you can just download it. So this is my cutscene system. It contains several things. First is animator, it's cutscene speaker name, and a dialogue. And as you can see, this is probably the most important thing that you need. And to achieve how you can display it, you need to make an UI for the dialogue. Surely, let me just hide this one, and then go to the subtitle. And as you can see, I've created it's just a text game object, and then I emptied the dialogue, and then I just put in a stretch bottom stretch, so that no matter how long the text gonna be, it will automatically adjust to it. And then if I drag the bottom, it will also adjust to it. So yeah, kind of neat. And then you put this into the cutscene text, and then for the name, you can achieve the similar by putting it inside a child, and then use a speaker name, and then you put it in the speaker name text. Now for the cutscene and speaker name text, it will display the string of these two things: the cutscene dialog for the cutscene text, and speaker name for the speaker name text. So if we go back to where is it? Let me go to here. I'll go back to here, and I'll put the name. I'm just see this name. You can put it me, and I'm gonna go play this. It will also display oops, seems that I have not. I need to zip the frames. I also added a system to save the dialogue, so once triggered, it will not be triggered anymore. As you can see, there you go. Alright, so you need these things, string and the serious field, to contain the what's called the dialog. As you can see, I haven't put it in here. Speaker name, put it here, and then play here. Then it should display the speaker name, which is just me. There you go. Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty simple, but it gets the job done. Go here, and also for how the code is gonna be. Let's go to here. Let me show how it is. Alright, so this is the code. In the previous video, I explained how you can use a enumerator and start coroutine to make flickering lights. Now you need to use a enumerator in case you need to display, how do I say this? If you need to run a code but with its own independent delay, then using any enumerator and start coroutine would be the wisest and probably the only choice that you have. That's simply put. I I'm sure there are better explanation, but for me, the way I understand it is just like that. So for displaying text, which is just like in a slow typewriting style, enumerator, and that's the only answer. Right, I'm putting enumerator, the function display text, and then I'm gonna check if the player is free, is moving. If the text exists, then I'm gonna set the name as you see in previous thing that I've done. Oopsie. Go put it here. Otherwise, we will not assign it to anything. And then next thing is I'm gonna set the loop. So while the last display index is less than the cutscene dialog length, the last index display is basically just the index of each character. So it will start with 0, as you can see, and then as long as the dialog, the index is not reached the length, then it will keep iterating it, and then just display it until it reaches it. So that's how we can achieve the typewriting effect. Even more so, we add yield return, which is just waiting for a second for the delay between character. And as you can see in here, I put it to 0.05 to delay the character. If I increase the delay, it will make the dialogue display slower. Easy as that. And that's it. Just a while if simple iteration loop. Now auto increment by 1 and wait, and we'll display again. Increment, it will display here, and then we'll wait, and then it will increment and wait, and so on. Now once it's complete, while the code is complete, and we'll trigger the next thing, which is just text finish true, and then start coroutine to trigger the next the next dialog. Okay. Now I realize the name is not the best description for the function, because it makes display dialog, doesn't really explain anything. But in this function, in this enumerator, it will check while the code is not finished, and it will just not return anything. This is just to make sure. I'm sure it will not be triggered either way unless this code is complete. But either way, adding here, and then it will wait between each completed dialog. As you can see, for this, I can't say if someone help me. Once this dialog is complete, it will wait for a specific amount of seconds, and then it will only then will trigger the next function, which is the trigger events. And by the trigger event, I'm assigning the next trigger, the next dialog, and once it starts cutscene, it will trigger the same process as we have executed before. So yeah. And then in case I've enabled the start look, I will explain later. I will false, basically just setting the text dialog and the speaker name to empty, just to make sure that, in case the speaker is different, or of course if the dialog is different, I need to make sure to set it to empty first before assigning to another name. Alright, so this is it. Okay, done. Then it's finished through. This will just mean that, alright, this dialog is finished. You can start another one, and there you go. The next game object is also pretty much the next line dialog. It has the same thing, and then if there's still some conversation going on, then I can assign another trigger, and as you can see, it will trigger the next function and yeah, and so on. As you can see, where is it? Start dialogue. Oh, sorry, the start cutscene. So this is the code that's being run. So there you go. As you can see, if the code is not finished, meaning that if the code has not been run once or it's never been run, then okay, you can start the display text function that I've explained before. Otherwise, we're gonna skip it because I do not want to trigger the same dialogue twice. That's why I added this line. And also, in case I need to make the character look at the specific direction, then I can use the camera look at to make my character face in a desired direction. And also, if I need to move the an object, I can assign another boolean. As you can see, there's a couple of functions that can be helpful for you in case you need to assign individually for each dialogue. So for the camera look, camera look is basically just looking at the camera. Let's see, where is it the function? Just let's look at, and there you go. For the camera, I will update in the update function. You will check per frame in case the boolean for start look at is true, then it will trigger. Alright, look at this desired direction. Now I'm putting it in an update because I need to make sure that this which is just basically I'm using the lar function to make my character slowly look into the desired direction instead of just instantly look at to the desired direction. Okay, this is how it is. So for example, for this one, I'm adding the object to look at in here. So this is game object, and as you can see, it's right here. So in case my character is facing right here, and then the desired direction is right a little bit to the left, it will not just automatically snap to the left. If I'm just as if I'm using the look at function, I want to make it smoothly, so I'm using the lar function. And to make sure that the lar function working properly, I had to make sure that I put it in update. So that's just basically the entire reason why. You can take a look at the code, and yeah, this is pretty much it. Basically, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure on how this kind of work. Like, basically, just calculating the delta of the direction between my initial character and the desired game object. That's basically it. All right, and also for the other moving the other game object, it's just assigning or set the other game object position to the new the desired position. And then for the code, it's just here. I know it's not the smoothest one, it's not the most the nicest one to look at, but I'm kind of proud with the way I made this. So if I want to move it, I just press this check mark and assign, say I want to make PC, and just drag the object here and then the position here, as you can see it here. So the object will be moved over here, and that's it. That's pretty much it. Alright, I gotta admit, there's one function that I forgot to take out of forgot to improve. It's just let's say I have finished triggering the function, the game object. Alright, the which one is it? This one. Back then, to make sure that my character will not collide with the same trigger, the solution that I came up with, the brilliant genius solution that I came up with, is just moving the the trigger 500 above the sky. So of course it will not be triggered, but at the same time, if you look at it, it's kind of ridiculous, but you know, this is just the way I made this. Of course, you can improve it way much better, but this is just how how I would create my own dialogue system. And as you can see, yeah, feel free to copy it. I'm gonna try to put it in a GitHub, or maybe I'll just make it into the Google Drive, and you can download it and use it. And yeah, this is it. uh, yeah,